Hi, my name is Diane and this is My Pink Bathtub Knits. Welcome. Today I find myself strangely alone in the house, left to my own devices. So I thought I'd better put out a video. Last night I filmed a short video to share with you all that I was going to be taking a pause on YouTube. I then texted my friend Dude and spoke to her about how I've been feeling just pressure from myself to put out videos. I haven't been really consistent lately. A lot of things going on in the background. And I thought if I just take this off my plate, everything's going to be fine. I filmed the video, I let it sit, and then I went onto YouTube and I started watching my friend Jackie's live from Crochetty HD. And I changed my mind. As soon as I entered the chat, she acknowledged me. People said hello to me. I felt very welcome. And I thought, no, I'm just going to keep doing this. And if I can make a video, I'll make a video. No pressure on myself. The goals that I had for my channel have gone out the window right now because I haven't been consistent. But it is what it is. So a little bit of life stuff, and then we'll get to the crux of this episode. Last week, I went to the Austin Woolen Mill with Jude, and we filmed on Saturday. And then the next day, we had to place my mother-in-law into palliative care. She was diagnosed in January, and it's really changed our life. And right now at this time, she's been in there a week. We don't know if she's going to stay in there or if she will be moved to hospice. On top of that, last week I had to get a root canal and was also put on antibiotics. And I've been dealing with a lot of dental pain since early March with the same tooth. And because I've had it drilled out 3 times now, I have a lot of gum pain as well. So I've been dealing with daily pain. Luckily, we have a very good insurance coverage for our dental plan, but we've had to escalate things, and I'm going to be getting a crown fitted in May before the plan runs out June 1st, because that's Hubs' official day of retirement. He's been on holidays ever since. So lots of stuff going on in the background. I've been kind of knitting, but I haven't been finishing anything. Hence the name of this episode, Whip It Real Good, because all I have to share with you is whips. And it's a bit of a throwback for Jackie for being the 80s queen. And I just want to share with you a lot of the projects I've been working on and nothing that I've finished. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to having this sort of cast-on-itis, as I like to call it. I wish I could, but I don't want to. Direct quote. Before we get into works in progress, remember this little Easter bunny? Well, I just wanted to share the recipient. Isn't she adorable? This is why I knit. So yeah, let's go through everything that has been sitting around, staring at me and haunting me and giving me pressure to finish. And another new cast on that I just decided to do because clearly I did not have enough cast ons in my life. Here's a real quick one that has not been touched at all. My fox cross stitch photo. This is what it's going to look like if it ever gets finished. This in no ways ever meant to be something that I was going to be working on a weekly basis, but I have not touched it in quite some time. In fact, I had a whole bunch of other stuff piled up on top of it, but I do want to get it done. I want to have a fox wall in our fireplace room just full of different fox art, and it will happen. I don't know when, but that's whip number 1. Whip number 2 is technically whip number 2 to 16 because I knit up 15 pairs of mittens. I know you think this is really impressive and quite the accomplishment, but I haven't finished any of them. All I've done was knit up the mittens themselves. I have been going through my yarn room, and specifically things like discontinued yarn, because I am, in fact, the queen of discontinued yarn, wearing lots of hats today. And I have been trying to purposely knit through that stuff just to downsize some of my yarn collection. I don't really want to call it a stash. Stash can be kind of a dirty word in some people's minds. So my yarn collection has a lot of discontinued yarn, and I'm trying to purposely knit through it and find some projects for it. And most of the things that I'm going to share with you today is discontinued or yarn that I may have had for a while. So I'm just going to show you quickly how many different pairs of mittens I made with different types of yarn. And I'm going to show pictures of what they will look like if I ever get my act together and finish them. First of all, I made 2 pairs of this. The yarn escapes me. I know I got it from Michael's. I want to say it's from Impeccable, but I'll put it up here when I figure out what it was. These are going to be puppy dog mittens, and this is what it's going to look like. Their snouts are going to be more of a creamy color with the ears, and then they're going to have the sideways tongue. So 2 pairs of those. Then I made 3 pairs of these things in the yarn called wool spun. And these are going to be chicken mittens. Now, this yarn is discontinued. It's a bulky weight yarn. It's really, really nice to work with. It is a acrylic wool blend, 80 acrylic, 20% wool. Nice and thick, and they're going to make really wonderful chicken mittens. Another yarn that I'm sad to see go, but I had to kind of use up what I had, was this beauty, which is also from Wool Spun. And it is called Metropolis, the color, and I had enough to make 6 pairs. I might be able to squeak out a 7th, but I'm not sure. The problem was I wanted to color control them. I wanted them to line up, which I was pretty successful with the 6 pairs, and they're going to be these kitten mittens. So I have enough dark yarn to make dark ears on all of them, which I haven't finished. I'm not going to lie to you. But I used up all the yarn I had. I found this at Len's Mills and I snagged it. Unfortunately, I cannot make a full pair of mittens with 1 ball. I had 10 pairs or 10 balls of yarn for it. This is the other stuff from Wool Spun. It also had a black stripe in it, which I removed. So this is very much color controlled, and I made 2 pairs of this. And they're also going to be cat mittens. And the other ones I've been working on has been my polar bear mittens. I literally am just casting on another pair, but I have finished 3 pairs of them. And I even made the ears and stuck them inside to attach at a later date. This is what they look like. And there are only 2 known pairs in the world right now of these mittens. These are brand new for me, and they are coming to market this fall. One is owned by an artist, and the other is owned by an Alaskan. So we'll see how they do at market. I think they're going to be successful. These ones I have knit with. I'm kind of organized, but I'm not organized. This Barocco vintage chunky yarn in the color Snow Day, which is 6100, and I'm holding it together with mohair, Diablo mohair from Hobie. Now these patterns, this cable pattern is the Bella's mittens from the movie Twilight. I am going to link the pattern below. But I've shortened the pattern. I start on row 24 and then I follow the basic pattern for this. I think this is called, I don't know if it's called a horseshoe cable. There's a specific name for this cable. But I've made so many pairs of these mittens that I don't even have to look at the pattern. I can just make them. So that's why I've made so many of them this last few weeks, because in the evening when we're not running around to the hospital or going to medical appointments, we've essentially just been laying around watching a lot of TV. And they're I can shut my mind off and just make them. Now, I just did an inventory of the mittens I have for market, and I currently have 44 pairs complete and 15 half done. And I just started casting on my 60th pair. So I don't feel so bad now about my market knitting. I mean, I've got a long ways to go and I have several months, but I mean, this past month has just flown by in April. April was literally a blink. It was a blink. Let's see what's in this bag. I threw all of my project bags on the couch. Oh, I'm knitting a sock, people. I'm knitting a sock. And I'm using the vanilla sock pattern from the Crazy Sock Lady to be used with DPNs, double pointed needles. Some people call it the devil sticks. I call it my needle of choice. And I have gotten further, but I am still on my first sock. I was really hoping to have one of the socks on the blocker to share with you. And that will happen. So this is my sock. I have been putting stitch markers every 10th row to keep track. And then now on this part here, I have it on my leg here. That is not a white wooden leg. That's how white my skin actually is in the winter. I'm not a big sun worshiper. It looks very wooden, but that is my leg. So I did try it on to see how it fit. And I guess it says to measure an inch and a half from where your toes start, I think. I'm just going to keep trying it on, but I haven't touched this. I was going to town on this forever, and then I never touched it for the longest time. And this is the sock yarn, Barocco sock. I just really enjoy this color. I'm not a big color person, but I've decided I'm going to wear color on my feet. And it's a superwash wool, 75%, 25% nylon. I got this from Aberdeen's Wool Mystery Bag. Total score. So that's going back in the bag. I promise you I will get it done in my Canada bag. And I haven't done anything with this either. I'm just a girl standing in front of her ends, asking them to weave themselves. The Happy Scrappy Teddy Bear by Susan Claudino. I showed you last time, and I'll show you again. All I did was the legs. And this is the current color that I'm going to be doing. I have not touched it since. What I do is I hold 3 strands of yarn together. I use my Tangled Poets minis from my pickle jar. I use some Mary Maxim Twinkle baby yarn. And then I use whatever kind of fairly inexpensive mohair I can find. I hold the 3 together and it makes this, which I quite like. So I will be doing more of those. I've just been on a mitten kick lately because they're small and easy to take around with me, and I really don't have to think about the pattern, which is great. But this is also a whip that I have sort of abandoned. And I have some new things that I started that I really went to town on for a while, and then I stopped again as well. I feel like showing you this stuff is making me accountable and making me want to finish these things. I do not only collect yarn. I, for some time, collected knitting books or patterns with the intention as, oh yeah, I'm going to make that. And when I was a new knitter, I used to buy a lot of sweater knitting books. Like, I went through my book collection and I weeded a lot of things out, and I donated around 25 knitting books to our local library. I mean, that's a lot. I went through all of them and I just had a real heart-to-heart with myself, and I thought, you're never going to make any of this stuff. Or I just didn't like the fashion or the style that was in there. I did keep some, and in the spirit of using the yarn that I have, which is also discontinued, I wanted to make a poncho. And looking through my yarn stash, I found 3 contenders for the yarn. First of all, I wanted to make this Mary Maxim poncho, which I still want to do. Here's a better photo of it. It's just a one size fits most. It's a mitered diamond poncho, it's called. I'll look for the pattern and link it below and see if it's on Ravelry as well. I had this printed up a long time ago, and it's in worsted weight. So this is something that I was thinking of doing. This is the beautiful bag my friend Alice gifted me. This book, this is the one I want to show you. Look at how much stuff fits in this bag. It's like a sweater's quantity and a book. Perfectly Feminine Knits. I saw this pattern. I thought it was just gorgeous. I had to make it. The model, of course, had it in gray, so that was a biggie. And I did find the link on Ravelry, which I posted below. However, it's not available. It's only available through this book. You can't seem to get it. So I would encourage you to go to your local library, or I looked on Amazon, at least in Canada, and they didn't seem to have it available. I'll look again, though, when I do my show notes. And this is the beautiful poncho. It's called Ella. It's a poncho with wrapped stitches. And at first, when I was looking at my yarn collection, I have this Patton's Shetland Chunky Tweed yarn, which Queena discontinued, is no longer available. And I've got like 13 balls of this, which is ridiculously a lot. But I found another pattern for that I'm going to show you. I happened to find it in gray, and I think I have enough to do this poncho. This is the color Oxford Gray. It is a bulky weight yarn. It is 75% acrylic, 25% wool. And yeah, Oxford Gray. Pretty much just like the model. I started it, and what really was appealing to me about this pattern was the wrap stitch. It was kind of like a bauble, but it wasn't a bauble. I like baubles, but I don't really like making baubles. Usually you have to knit into the same stitch around 8 times. Then you kind of got to pull it to the front, or at least I always have to pull it to the front. It never really looks uniform to me when I do it. Just not a fan. But I'm going to share with you, I know this is in this book, but I think this technique is not unique, what these wrap stitches look like. It's nice and uniform. So it's a top-down construction. I haven't tried it on yet, but look at how much I did. I just went to town. I'm on my second ball of this. And basically the wrapped stitched bobbin that is in this pattern is you just slip 3 stitches onto your cable needle from the left to the right. Then you take your yarn from behind and you wrap it from the front to the back 3 times. You slip them onto the right needle from the cable stitch. You don't slip them back onto the working needle. Yeah, I just thought this was a brilliant, beautiful pattern. It's a shame that it's not available on Ravelry, but like I said, if you can find this book somewhere, Perfectly Feminine Knits, I would highly recommend knitting it. I've wanted to make a poncho for so long, and it does have slits for the arms, so you're not doing the dinosaur walk at all. It has really nice stitch definition, this yarn as well. This is a 6mm needle, I believe. See, I started this and then I forgot about it. But I really, really like it. What is wrong with that one stitch? That one stitch looks funny at the top here. I'll have to look at that. I really, really like the look of it. So that was a new cast on itis. Then if everything goes completely as planned with this poncho, and I love the fit and the feel of it, I have an insane amount of this color in the patent Shetland Chunky. This is called Pretty in Pink. I don't know why I have so much of it. I think because it was discontinued and it was marked down at an incredibly good price, and I am a sucker for sales. I find it too pink for pig mittens, like it's too bright. And I normally wouldn't be wearing this, but this could be a garment that I could wear at my markets because I am my pink bathtub. And for any of you that don't know, I am not a fan of pink. I used to own a pink bathtub. My aim in life is to confuse people into thinking I sell bath bombs when I really sell mittens. And it was just a kind of a quirky, cute personal name, personal story with my friends about come on over and check out my pink bathtub. And it stuck. This is how my brain works. The other book that I was looking at, which I want to use this yarn for, it's not really my color. I think it might be okay as a, it's got black bits and cream bits of tweed in it. I don't know about the pale blue for me, but I did find a pattern that I thought, if I'm going to make it, I think I might make it with this, just to make it. And it's from this book called Metropolitan Knits. This one is, and I kind of liked this. I don't know how I feel about cardigans 100%, but this one is called Washington Square. Kind of like a bit of a lacy look to the front of it. And I would have enough yarn for it. It also is for bulky weight yarn, which I thought was great. I mean, this is not something I'm going to start anytime soon. This is more of a scheming and dreaming situation for when I need another project. And the great thing is about it too is there is a hat, a matching hat that goes with it. So I was showing this to Hubs and he said, yeah, that would look really nice with a wooden button. So maybe I will do it. Maybe I will do it. What do you think about that? The last thing that I started, and again, this was something about using yarn in my collection. I don't know if any of you watched my Yarn Vent Advent series in December. I had a Hobie Advent. Never again. I got 2 balls of this Panettone. Now this has some sparkle in it. It doesn't feel bad to touch it. It is a 3-weight yarn. It's cotton, so it is a little bit rougher. 87% cotton, 7% polyamide, 6% metallic fiber. And I thought, what am I going to do with this? I am not into sparkle yarn at all. So I'm knitting it up. This is a bit of an experiment. I was thinking I might gift this to a friend. I do not like the feel of it, but it's not a wearable. This is what it looks like so far. You can catch the sparkle in it. Kind of has lilac and 2 different, like a light blue and then a cream color there. I am making a kitty cat out of this. Smaller needles, usually it's my own pattern. They look like this. And I also received this Pearly Haze yarn in my Advent. Again, another color that is not my color. I'm going to make the tail with this and probably put this on the inside of the ears. Possibly for a gift to a friend who I know likes purple and sparkles and cats. But if I don't like the look of it, I may not gift it. Bit of an experiment. So I started working on this. Haven't worked on anything for a while that I've had to stuff. And my pattern is available on Ravelry. If anybody wants it, absolutely no obligation. But that's my other cast-on-itis thing that I have. So tons of whips, absolutely nothing completed. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. There's been days that I haven't knit anything, and I can honestly say that is usually a very rare occurrence. But when you have a parent in the condition that ours is in, it is very draining. It is incredibly sad. I do know that my tooth has been more painful than it needs to be because of the stress I've been under as well. And it is what it is. My next episode, I'm not sure when it's going to be. I just wanted to share this personal information with you because at first I was just going to say I'm not doing videos for the unforeseeable future. And I thought, no, I went on that live yesterday and I really enjoyed it. And it made me realize it's about community and it's about the friends that I've made. I consider Jackie a friend. Will we ever meet? I don't know. But it's the connections you make, and it's not just with other content creators. There's many people that I know watch me on a regular basis and that often comment, and I consider those people my friends as well. I do. So thanks again for your patience. My next episode, whenever that comes out, is going to be about Ontario yarn. My last time I did my Canadian Roads series trip, I grouped it all together for the Manitoba yarn episode. And I thought, you know, I liked doing it like that. So I in no way have bought yarn from every hand dyer in Ontario. I have a couple that I have already bought that I will review with you again. And then I'm going to share with you the new yarn that I purchased. And that will be my next episode. And then, God willing, I will have an episode of finished objects to share with you. That is my ultimate goal. We're not casting on anything new. Now, when I say finished objects, it might just be one sock, but that is an achievement in itself. It really is. Yeah, so it's weird that Hubs is not home. We have a friend who is moving. In fact, he's moving onto our street in our neighborhood. It's kind of a rainy, windy day, so it's not the best day. He's going to visit Mom on his way to his friend's house for the first load. And I just decided I'm taking a day off and staying home. So I'm going to catch up on some of my friends' videos. I'm going to work on this video and yeah, maybe I'll work on my cat. I want to see what it's going to turn out. In my head, it looks fantastic. I just don't like the feel of the yarn, but again, it's not for a child. It's more as a cute prop to prop up. So we'll see how that goes. Bibbling, babbling at this point. I hope you're all well. Take care, and I will see you when I see you. Bye for now.